What it do? Bedtime crew. Hey man, listen, today I am here to talk about all the fights that I want to see made after UFC 304, Edwards versus Muhammad 2, where my boy Belal Muhammad won the belt. Unfortunately, my boy Curtis Blaydes lost. Paddy Pimblett had a great performance. Muhammad Moicano got fucking traded to the PFL for a bag of chips. A lot of other stuff took place on this card. I'm going to be talking about all the big matchups that I really want to see. I'm not going to be doing every fighter on the card. So if you're waiting for me to match up Modestus Badauskas or whatever his name was, unfortunately, I'm not going to be doing that today. Same with Nathaniel Woods. Just don't really care enough. But listen, bro. Let's get into the fights that I really took an interest in and that I want to see a big fight for the winner and loser next. Starting off on the early prelims, Mick Parkin, aka Mick Parkin. You know, I had a great reaction to this guy winning his fight. Hurt him. Parkin hurt him. Right hand. Oh, right hand. He's out. He's fucking out. He's out, bro. He's out. Mick Parkin. Somebody get this man a Big Mac. He had a great knockout over Lucas Brzeski. I picked him to win by decision, but he unleashed a very good KO. And yeah, man, I think he deserves a little bit of a fun matchup, a big name next. He's 10-0 in the UFC, or 10-0 undefeated, excuse me, in the UFC as well on a good win streak. And honestly, I think on a fight night in front of a crowd, must be in front of a crowd, okay? Let's do fucking Roblobus de Spain versus Mick Parkin. I think this is a great matchup. You've got a very technical boxer versus a Taekwondo guy. I know Taekwondo is not a real sport, but if it was, Roblobus de Spain would be a serious problem in the UFC. I mean, this guy's an athletic freak. He is more of a stand-up knockout artist, and I think we're more likely to get either an exciting Roblobus KO or Mick Parkin manages to school him, maybe mix in the wrestling as well. He is well-rounded enough to do that. I think this is a big name for him to fight that people will actually give a fuck about if you want to promote this guy, because honestly, right now, this seems like the best heavyweight prospect, and that's a really sad thing to say, because I just look at this guy and I just see like a generic number 14, number 10 ranked, you know, Chris Dorcas type build in the heavyweight division, and this is probably the best prospect we've got outside of Shamil the Blob Gaziev. So let's do Roblobus de Spain versus Mick Parkin. Maybe on the early prelims of like the MSG pay-per-view later in the year. He's training with Aspinall. Let's put him on the same card. I don't know, up to you, but that's what I'm thinking. Roblobus de Spain versus Mick Parkin. Let's move on. Like I said, I was going to matchmake Muhammad Moicano. I was going to talk about, oh, what do you do with him now? He's going to resign, and who does he fight next after that performance? I thought he won that fight. I know people were kind of saying robbery about that. I did say that would probably happen. Just on the way that he fights, he's a fluky flukester, and he looks very unconvincing even when he's winning. But we don't have to matchmake Muhammad Moicano. Little bro got fucking shipped to the PFL immediately on the post-fight press conference. I can't believe that I predicted that perfectly. He literally got told to learn Mandarin, buddy. So, yeah, unfortunately, Muhammad Moicano is going to be fighting on the PFL card in Paris. He is no longer my problem on this channel. But Manel Kape looked like shit. Fought like shit. Got wedgied by Muhammad Moicano in the middle of round 2. I don't know why they didn't take a point for that, but regardless, without the point deduction, I think Moicano won. I would say Manel Kape need to kind of milk the excitement of this guy. Pause, that sounds crazy. You need to kind of milk that for as long as you can. You don't throw him in there with like Asu Almabayev, who's just gonna like hug his nuts for the entire fight. You don't throw him in there with somebody boring, you know what I mean? You try and make an exciting matchup. Maybe build somebody else's name off Manel Kape, because he's getting quite old. He's 19-7 now. Unless you're looking to bring in Kaya Sakara and do Kape versus Isakara as your first fight in the UFC, which would be kind of cool. I'm thinking let's build up somebody else. Let's get Charles Johnson another win, and then later in the year, let's do Muhammad Moicano versus Charles Johnson. I know Charles Johnson is unranked. He just beat Joshua Van, but I'm saying let's get him a win against someone in the bottom of the... I think he's fighting Sumudaji next, so that's going to get him close to the rankings, maybe ranked. And I would say after he fights Sumudaji and wins that fight, let's do Manel Kape versus fucking Charles Johnson. I think that's a pretty exciting matchup. A lot of people will be interested in this one. These are two exciting guys to watch. Predominantly strikers as well, so we're not going to get a fucking Manel Kape having to argue that he won based on damage, right? We can get an actual fight occurring in the octagon, which would be good to see, in my opinion. You know, call me crazy. Call me crazy. I'd love to see a fight in the octagon. So let's get Manel Kape versus Charles Johnson later in the year. Maybe December pay-per-view. I think that'd be kind of cool. Maybe early next year. I don't know. Muhammad Moicano, what's his name? Manel Kape, bro. Yeah, we're going to have to pick it up after that last performance, bro. You're going to have to say a couple more slurs if you want to get people back on the hype train, buddy. All right. But that's all I have to talk about from the prelims. I don't really have anything to say about Bruna Brazil. She's a baddie. Please respond to my DM on Instagram. I'm not desperate, guys. Molly McCann, respects to Molly McCann. I'm not going to shit on her because she did try her best. Just wasn't good enough. Well in, lad. You know yourself. Get off me, lad. Get her off me. I try my fucking best, lad. Get her off me. But I have nothing to say about the prelims other than that, I'm going to move on to the main card. Opening up the main card, they had Arnold Allen versus Giga Chikadze. Arnold Allen won by decision. Very happy. I predicted my boy to get that win. I'm happy for him. He needed that one. He was coming off a losing streak. As for Giga Chikadze, he's been a little bit inconsistent in the rank. Looked really good coming into the top 15 when he finished Edson Barboza, which is a good win, but it's not aging the best right now. And he beat Alex Caceres, but other than that, he just lost to Arnold Allen. He lost to Calvin Kattar pretty badly. I'm going to imagine that Giga Chikadze is going to want to stay relatively active because he didn't really take a lot of damage in that fight. He did get walked down and kind of pushed around a little bit, but outside of that, he didn't really get knocked down or wobbled too badly. I think Giga Chikadze is going to be good to fight like pretty fucking soon. And honestly, I think Giga Chikadze versus Dan Ige. Sorry, I forgot about the photo that I fucking used of him. Giga Chikadze versus Dan Ige is a great fight. These guys haven't fought each other. I would have thought these two have fought each other, but they haven't. And I think this is a great matchup to see, all right, who's going to stay as like the gatekeeper of the top 15 or the top 10, excuse me. I think that's kind of more fitting. Who's the gatekeeper of the top 10? And who's going to go down into the like number 13, number 14 and kind of let guys into the rankings at that point. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is an exciting matchup as well. Two predominantly strikers. You're not really going to see a lot of grappling. It's a favorable matchup for Giga Chikadze, but it's also something winnable for Dan Ige because of his cardio. He pushes the pace. Giga Chikadze does slow down a little bit. It is winnable for both of these guys. Plus, Dan Ige has a crazy chin, crazy kind of survivability factor, so that does make an interesting matchup. This gives me big fucking co-main event of an Apex Fight Night vibes. Am I wrong? Am I wrong that this is like the perfect like October Fight Night co-main event? I could just see this on some orange Fight Night poster as like, in the co-main event, featherweight scrappers go at it. Like, that's just the vibe I'm getting from this fight. So definitely think this is probably going to happen. Giga Chikadze, Dan Ige. Let me move on though. Arnold Allen. What do you do with Arnold Allen? I actually reached out to about to fight whoever, it's no biggie. I think honestly, let's do Arnold Allen versus Josh Emmett. That's a great fight, dude. That's a great fight. Just like Chikadze versus Ige is kind of like who's the gatekeeper to the top 10. I think Emmett versus Allen is, all right, who's gonna get given like the loser of a title fight? Who's gonna get given Volk if Topuria doesn't want to fight him again? You know what I mean? Like, we've kind of got a little bit of a tournament going here at featherweight, and I think this is a great fight to make in that division. Especially considering Yair Rodriguez, I think he's injured or something like that. I don't know. I remember seeing he's not going to be fighting for a while, so I'm not mad at this fight happening. And then maybe the winner of this, if it's Arnold Allen, he fights Yair Rodriguez. If he beats Yair Rodriguez, maybe you give him a title shot. Or if Josh Emmett wins, maybe he can fight Brian Ortega after he beats Diego Lopez. I'm going to be talking about that tomorrow as well. It is what it is, dude. But yeah, I think Arnold Allen versus Josh Emmett is a great fight to maybe add. Yeah, I'm thinking probably November, MSG, maybe December. As a fight night main event, I think that'd be kind of cool. I know Arnold Allen said he broke his hand, apparently, so Josh Emmett is just disappeared from the face of the earth. Bro's making fucking YouTube videos, so just put this later in the year as a fight night main event. I think that's a good matchup that most people would be interested in seeing. And yeah, let's do Arnold Allen versus Josh Emmett. Now, let's move on. I'm not going to be matchmaking Christian Leroy Duncan. Maybe he should fight, I don't know. Off the top of my head, I would say Christian Leroy Duncan versus, give Bruno Silva one more chance. And let's do Bruno Silva versus CLD. Let's give Bruno Silva another chance. Let's do him versus CLD. They might have fought each other before. I don't really care. Robocop. Obama. Let me be clear. My fellow Americans, my fellow Brazilians. Let me be clear. What the fuck do you do with Gregory Rodriguez? Now, Gregory Rodriguez is on a 3-fight winning streak. I believe it's a 3-fight finish streak as well. I know they're kind of jabronis near the bottom of the division, but CLD's a pretty good win, right? Brad Tavares is a pretty good win. People forget, man. Brad Tavares, dude, he's a serious problem, right? He's on a 3-fight finish streak, okay? I'm looking up the rankings. I'm not really seeing many people above him that are right outside the rankings that I think make sense for him to fight. Like, I'm not going to do RoboCop versus Joe Python. I'm not going to do like, the UFC's never going to go, hey, Bo Nickel, do you want to fight RoboCop? When you could be fighting Chris Weidman. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to do that. So, I would just say, you know what? Fuck it. Paulo Costa, fucking Gregory Rodriguez. They wanted to do Paulo Costa versus Ikram Aliskerov with one win in the UFC. Why can't we just go, you know what, let's do fucking Obama versus Paulo Costa? Why not? Why not? In the words of Russell Westbrook, why not, bro? Let's just do it. I think this would be I think this would be a great addition to like a Brazilian pay-per-view or whatever card they do Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev on. Add this as like the featured fight. Boom. Paulo Costa's on a fucking losing streak. He just got 50-45 by Sean Strickland. He got beat by Robert Whittaker. Unless he's getting a title shot and he's just going to keep fighting up even though he loses, let's give him a little bit of a step down in competition. I think Gregory Rodriguez is a very tough matchup, but it's also a winnable fight for Paulo Costa. And it's exciting. It's a little bit of an unknown. You know, you always get some sort of appeal when you get like established ranked guy versus unranked exciting guy, because we have no idea if he's actually that good. I want to see Obama versus Costa. So let's put this together. This would be a sick featured fight of a pay-per-view. And like I said, if you're going to be throwing fucking Ikram Aliskerov in there with Paulo Costa, I remember when they tried to make that. Why can we not justify Gregory Rodriguez versus Paulo Costa when one of them's on a 2-fight losing streak and one of them's on a 3-fight finish? Let's just do it. Fuck it. Let's do it. Okay? That's what I want to see for Gregory Rodriguez. Now I'm going to move on and I'm going to talk about Bobby Queen Green versus Paddy Pimblett. You know yourself, the fucking boy. You know who the boy is, lad. Mate, there's your fucking fraud check, lad. What did I fucking tell you, lad? I tried to fucking tell you, mate. Nobody fucking listened. Listen, bro. I could go overdrive right now about the Paddy Pimblett and Benoit Saint-Denis aren't so different, you know, kind of agenda that I was pushing. It's aged quite well, the debate that I had with Lucas Tracy about this. I feel like most things I said came true, especially about the Bobby Green fight. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about what should be next for Bobby Green, what should be next for Paddy Pimblett. I think with Bobby Green, there's a lot more options. I was thinking, like, do we do Bobby Green versus maybe, like, Michael Johnson, and we kind of get two, like, OGs kind of fighting each other? That'd be kind of cool. I was thinking, you know, in terms of, like, a prospect, giving a prospect a chance against Bobby Green, maybe we do Bobby Green versus Chase Hooper. That'd be kind of cool. But honestly, in terms of like exciting matchups and where they are in their career and what their last performance looked like, Bobby Green's going to need a little bit of time off, right? And there's another guy that just had an absolute barn burner, got crafty veteran, got completely outcrafted, and is also going to need a little bit of time off. I would say let's do Bobby Green versus Mateusz Rebecky, bro. This would be a fucking sick fight. I feel like this could be a great prelim on a pay-per-view. I think Bobby Green versus Mateusz Rebecky, either on the prelims of a pay-per-view, or you put this, let's be real, the UFC in 2024, this is opening up pay-per-view. But I'm not mad at this. It's actually a really cool fight. I think their styles match up well. You know, obviously Mateusz Rebecky is going to be trying to look for the going to be looking for the grappling. Bobby Green hopefully won't shoot a fucking takedown in this fight. You can hope so if you're a Bobby Green fan, but I think this is a really exciting matchup, and I think this would be a good little bounce back for Bobby Green, fighting a guy who's taken a lot of damage in his last loss, who's not the best striker, who's not the best, boxer, all the things that we thought would be kind of a problem for Paddy Pimblett. I would say there's similar problems for Mateusz Rebecky, except he's just bigger and stronger, and he has a cool last name, so people won't say things like that. They'll pick him to beat Bobby Green. But I think this is a good matchup. I think this is an exciting fight that you can make. Like I said, pay-per-view prelims, Apex card featured fight. We got to do Bobby Green versus Mateusz Rebecky early next year, maybe late this year. I want to give these guys enough time to recover from their last fight, though. So I definitely think this would be a cool matchup, though. But like I said, other options I'd be cool with are Bobby Green versus Miktabek Oralbai. I would like to see that just for the memes. I'd love to see him versus Chase Hooper, and I'd love to see him versus who else did I say? Michael Johnson. That'd be kind of cool. But this is the one I picked: Green versus Rebecky. All right. As for Paddy Pimblett, I'm not going to drag this out. I think him versus Moicano is a genius idea. I think he's a great, it's a great call out to call out Renato Moicano. First of all, I think he's going to beat Benoit Saint-Denis. I'm just going to say that right now. It's a tougher fight for him than it would have been for Poirier. Like, he's not as good as Poirier. It's not going to be as easy as it was for Poirier, right? Poirier outboxed Benoit, kind of toyed with him a little bit, survived on the grappling, outworked him, got him with the finish. I don't think it's going to be that easy for Renato Moicano, but I think there's a similar path to victory for him, except with a submission, right? But even if he loses, I'm not mad at Bobby Green. What's his name? Renato Moicano versus Paddy Pimblett. This has fucking McGregor card written all over it, does it not? Does this not have December? What's up, fight fans? We got a badass pay-per-view. In the main event, we got Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler. And in the featured fight, we got Renato Moicano versus Paddy Pimblett. I can just see the UFC putting that together. Bo Nickel will probably be on that card as well. Let's do Renato Moicano versus Paddy Pimblett. There's nothing really to be said. You want to see this. I want to see this. The press conference will be sick. The YouTube videos will be sick. MMA Guru won't know who to pick. Me neither. But yeah, I think that's a good matchup. And it makes sense for Paddy Pimblett. And if he wins that, he's moving on to Beneil Dariush. I agree with his roadmap of beating Moicano, Dariush, and then, who did he say? Oliveira? He didn't say Oliveira. I think he said Gaethje. Which, hey, I don't know. Anyways, let me move on. I'm not going to get into possibilities, right? In the co-main event, my boy Curtis Blaydes unfortunately lost Tom Aspinall. I haven't talked to Blaydes yet about it. I don't want to bother him. But I know he'll bounce back from this, and I think a really good fight for him to bounce back from this with is somebody that's not going to be too dangerous in the striking department, somebody that's going to be trying to play to the strengths of Curtis Blaydes, which is the grappling, and somebody that I believe Curtis Blaydes would outstrike and be able to finish. I'm just going to say this real. Sorry, that was not a sentence. I'm just going to be for real when I say this. Curtis Blaydes' title run 4.0 starts fucking here, boys. The title run, it begins here. We're going to do Blaydes versus Tybura when he beats Sergey Spivak. All right? Blaydes is going to go back up the rankings. He's going to beat Cyril Gane. He's going to beat Cyril Gane. Actually, or Volkov if Volkov loses. Right? He's going to beat the loser of that fight. And then he's going to beat Cyril Gane. And then he's going to get a title shot. And he's going to win the belt finally. Okay? Let's do Curtis Blaydes versus Marcin Tybura. This is a good bounce back fight for Curtis Blaydes. I believe this will be a fight night main event. I could definitely see this happening. And, it's a good bounce back for him. Same with Sergey Spivak. I think he beat Sergey Spivak as well. So whoever wins that fight, you're getting fed straight out of the apex, just turned straight into Curtis Blaydes. You're getting fed straight to Curtis Blaydes. Thank you for the bounce back victory. Back to the apex you go. That's how it's going to work with the winner of Tybura Spivak. So, that's just what you do. That's what you do. All right. As for Tom Aspinall, John Jones, he's a great fighter. I'd love to fight him. Make this fight, please. Please make this fight. Nobody gives a fuck about Stipe. Don't know how many times I have to say it. Don't know how many people have to say it. Please just make this fight. Why? Why Stipe? Why Stipe now? 2022, 2023. Okay, it makes sense. It's a little bit more easy to digest. If this was the first fight, here's a crazy fucking idea, Dana White. If you think John Jones is so good, why didn't you make Jones versus Stipe before you made Jones versus Cyril Gane? Baldy? Why didn't you fucking do that? Stipe was chilling on the sidelines. He was ready. He was training. Why? Why not do Cyril Gane versus Sergey Pavlovich and Stipe versus Jones in 2023 at 285? But no, dude. Cyril Gane, he's the best in the sport. He beat Tai Tuivasa, guys. We got to put him in the sport. So now we're in this terrible, dark timeline of the heavyweight division where Tom Aspinall is the interim champion, the only guy that looks like he can beat John Jones right now. John Jones is the heavyweight champion coming back from an injury at his most beatable, and we don't get to see them fight. It just makes no fucking sense, dude. It should be the fight next. It's probably not going to be. If Jones retires, it'll probably be Aspinall versus Gane for the heavyweight title. Aspinall will get promoted. He'll defend his belt against Gane. That's probably what it'll be. All right, dude. As for the main event, oh my goodness. Leon Rocky Edwards. Are you going to give me a rematch, bruh? Dana White said that Leon Edwards is not getting a rematch. I'm not celebrating that. I'm not happy about it. I'm just saying, Leon Edwards, pack your bags. You're going to the Apex. You're fighting JDM in the Apex, buddy. Best I can do is JDM in the Apex in December. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, Leon. You're not getting a title shot. You're not getting another chance to ruin the division. You're getting sent straight back to the fucking Apex. You're fighting JDM when he's recovered from his injury. And that's going to be that. Your other options are Ian Gary at MSG. Or, you know, who else? The winner of Sean Brady, Gilbert Burns. Maybe Leon Edwards fights them. I could see him doing that. But yeah, man, I think Leon Edwards is going back of the queue, bro. Bilal Muhammad said he's going to make him wait 3 years. That's pretty generous, dude, because people act like, can I just say now, while you're here, people act like, oh my god, the sport's fucking dead. Bilal Muhammad's the champ. Oh my god, the division's ruined. Leon Edwards was the fucking worst champion there was. Bilal, I guarantee you this. Clip this. Mark my words. Bilal Muhammad will make the division more interesting before his first title defense happens than Leon Edwards has in 2 years. Every single Leon Edwards post-fight interview, this guy, when he won the belt, people were like, wow, this guy just masterclass. Even though it was the most boring fucking performance ever. He looked almost as bad as he did against Bilal Muhammad, right? But he just barely won. But people are like, wow, Leon Edwards masterclass, right? Leon Edwards on the mic after he wins a fight, where he beats like an all-time great like Kamaru Usman, or where he beats a rival like Colby Covington, even though he didn't finish him. Yeah, bro. I don't know, bro. Yeah, defo a lot of options, bro. Probably fighting about, probably fight next year, maybe late in the year. I don't know, bro. I have to see, bro. Whatever. Like, this guy's there's just no fucking hype. There's no interest in this guy as the champion. And people are going to see that now that he doesn't have the belt. Watch all these Leon quote-unquote fans turn into Shavkat fans now all of a sudden. Now that Leon's not the champ, watch all of these guys stop caring about his fights and tune into fucking Shavkat fights. And I liked Leon before he was the champion. I liked Leon before all these annoying fans tried to act like this guy's the greatest thing that ever touched the earth. I'm hoping that less of those annoying glazers are around now, and you kind of appreciate Leon Edwards now. Because he has that Arnold Allen kind of characteristic. Same with JDM. That's why I think these two would be a great matchup. It'd be an exciting fight. Leon Edwards is grappling versus JDM's boxing. I think this is a really good matchup for JDM to get to the belt, dude. Because if you're getting outboxed by Bilal, I think JDM has a good chance. So let's do Leon versus JDM in the Apex. And I'm really excited for this fight. Bilal Muhammad. First title defense, Abu Dhabi, Shavkat Rakhmonov. You're next, buddy. I really like this matchup. I think this is like a... You know what this fucking reminds me of, dude? Glover Teixeira versus Yuri Prohaska. That's what this fight reminds me of. This gives me Yuri versus Glover vibes. I think this is going to be like a war, bro. I really think this is going to be actually a really badass fight. I think Bilal Muhammad's going to do a lot better than people think. And I think Shavkat's probably going to get like a late submission, maybe a late TKO. Bilal's a little bit susceptible to being hit on the feet, but even then, I think he could win this fight just based on his pace. Shavkat doesn't move his fucking head. We haven't seen him go, past 3 rounds. So I think Bilal Muhammad versus Shavkat Rakhmonov is going to be a fucking war. It's probably going to be the co-main event in Abu Dhabi to whatever Islam does. If it's Gamrot or Arman next, that's probably what's going to be the co-main event. And you know that if Shavkat wins that fucking belt and Islam retains his belt, UFC is going to put together Islam versus Shavkat. But these are the fights that I think the UFC should make after 304. Let me know down below, guys. What fights do you want to see? What do you think of my matchmaking? What did you think of the pay-per-view if you didn't get to talk to me about it already? Drop a like if you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel, man. And go follow me on Instagram and Twitter at BedtimeMMA. I will see you guys in the next video, man. Goodbye.